the right from this side. So, this? Okay. We'll be hearing it. Hi, Priscilla. I hope you can hear me. Hi, Priscilla. Hope you can hear me. You can hear me? Can you hear me? You can't. Ah. Can you hear me now? Okay, I'll have to actually, my speaker is actually on, so maybe you should check yourself whether you mute yourself. Hi, Vivian.
Good morning, Ma.
Morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Good
Okay.
morning.
It means that is because people have started joining. It looks like we are the first to join. So Priscilla can't hear me.
I can hear you now.
Okay, you can hear me now. Okay, that's fine. So good morning to you guys. So we just
Good morning, Ma.
Yeah, we are like few minutes or few seconds early. So we'll wait for other people to join and then we can start the meeting. The guest from Wolverhampton, we are expecting him, but even if he doesn't turn up, we will just if he doesn't turn up, we'll just go ahead with the meeting the way it is. But then he has assured us that he's going to be here because he was one that actually you know, organized this meeting, call for this meeting to speak with you people.
Thank you, Ma.
And then assure you guys that your offer will come. So if he's not here, we can still go ahead with the meeting anyway.
Okay.
So we are having a number of people joining at the moment, but he's not here. So let's hope that he joins. So we have quite a number of people that are joining already. Hi, good morning, everyone. To those that have just joined, good morning.
Good morning. Here.
Good morning, sir.
I'm here.
Yes, good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. We are quite early. We are still waiting for the staff of Wolverhampton to join. This is 9 on the dot. So we are hoping he joins soon. Even if he doesn't join, we are going to go ahead with the meeting. But he was actually the one that called for this meeting to assure every one of us that the offer is that they are still working on the offer and that it will get to everyone's turn. But then we are going to wait for him for like, okay, 2 to 5 minutes. This is 9:01. Wait for him like for 5 minutes. Wait for him for the next 2 minutes and he doesn't join, we'll just go ahead with the meeting.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. If you're just joining, you're welcome. Tosi, you can see Tosi have joined. So we'll be starting in the next 2 minutes, please. If your speaker is on and you're not talking yet, you can mute yourself, please. If your speaker is on and you're not talking, you can mute yourself.
Hi, good morning.
Hi, morning. If your speaker is on and you're not talking, please mute yourself. Okay, I think we will just start. Being that he's not here, I've not seen him join. If anytime he joins, we allow him talk. Okay. Good morning, everyone. I presume that all of us, I presume that all of us are either applicants for Wolverhampton, because this is strictly for people that are going to Wolverhampton. We are quite much join this Zoom session. So, and then the staff at Wolverhampton has actually called for this meeting in order to speak to every one of you, because you either have an application submitted or you have an offer, which is mean you have some conditions to meet. So for as many that are waiting for their unconditional offer, and then for as many that are waiting for their offer to be issued. So he wanted to speak with you guys to reassure you that your offer is going to come, because according to Wolverhampton, they have lots and lots of application in at the moment, which they are looking at and attending to one after the other. So I think he's here now. I'm seeing University of Wolverhampton join. So, and I guess he's the person that have joined. So if he's the one that have joined, I will not allow him to speak from now on. And then please just know that we are set, this meeting is set for the next 45 minutes. If you cannot hear me, please check your speaker so that you can hear me clearly. But just know that this meeting is set for the next 45 minutes. In case we all go off, the line go off, please reconnect using the same link. Mr. Yusuf here now. I can see University of Wolverhampton International. So if you're here, Mr. Yusuf, you can unmute yourself, please. Just joined now. So hi everyone, for those just joining, University of Wolverhampton, I presume that is Mr. Yusuf.
Yes, it is. Good morning.
Okay, good morning. So they were quite early. They've been here much early, so like 5 minutes earlier. So guys, here is Mr. Yusuf, the rep University of Wolverhampton. So he's here to speak to every one of us that have admission already with University of Wolverhampton. Either you have admission conditional, or you have your application already submitted and then you don't have offer yet. So, and then I know that you guys have worried me sick, as in I've got several calls every day, every minute, every second. I'm getting calls and messages on where is the offer, where is the unconditional offer, where is the offer. So here he is. So you can direct all your questions to Mr. Yusuf, and I'm here and I'm sure he's ready to, answer all your questions. And he's also here to, calm your nerves down, because like I said earlier, Wolverhampton has a lot of applications that they have received at the moment and they are attending to, and they are actually on top of their game. So he's here to assure you guys of that. So Mr. Yusuf, over to you.
Yes, thank you very much. Good morning, everybody. And I think the first thing really I want to say is, I do apologize for the delay in the...
Godi, please mute yourself. If you're not speaking at the moment, you can mute yourself. When you want to talk or ask questions, then you can unmute, please. Mr. Yusuf, you can go ahead.
Yeah, so as I was saying, so I think firstly, just to apologize for the delay in the processing of your offers. Those of you that have applied before Monday, your offer will be processed. Now, if you've met all the requirements in terms of if you have a bachelor degree that's equivalent to a UK bachelor degree with a minimum second class lower, if you've got your English language requirements, so that's either your WIAC, and if you don't have that, or if it's more than 10 years, you may need to do an IELTS or a TOEFL or our own English test. If you've got a satisfactory personal statement, and I will put a link into the chat or send it to the team to share with you. So your personal statement has to be specific to Wolverhampton, why the UK, why the Wolverhampton in general, why the program at Wolverhampton, and what are your career prospects. If also you have any gaps in your education career, then also including those. Your recommendation letter from your school, so either your university, and a copy of your passport page. Now, if you meet those conditions that you've already submitted, then your offer will be processed. Now, just to give you an idea of what most UK universities are going through at the moment, the UK had a strategy of having just over 600,000 students by 2030. Last year, of international students studying in the UK, last year, so 2021, whilst we're still in the pandemic, the UK surpassed that target. So we can imagine the target that we set just about 2 years ago in 2020, that we want to achieve 600,000 international students in the UK in 10 years time. Within 2 years, well, within 18 months, that target has been met. So what I'm trying to show to you is the level of the volume that has been received to most UK universities. Now, it's no doubt that Wolverhampton is also a favorable destination for students from all around the world, based on the location, the courses that we offer, and the affordability as well. So all I can say is at the moment, please do be patient, continue to be patient with us. If you've made an application, it will be processed to a conditional offer letter or unconditional. If you have an unconditional offer letter, you will be booked for your pre-CAS interview. And I've got a meeting by the end of this week, and I'll be able to also inform most students when the CASs will start to be issued. So I don't have a magic wand or here to tell you that everything you get your offers or your CAS or your pre-CAS interview today or tomorrow. But all I can say is please do continue to be patient with us. We know you've submitted application. We know time is running out. We're not just waiting because we don't want to process that. We've put in a lot of resources into the admissions team. So, over the past, I'll probably say 4 weeks, there's been at least 5 to 10 new members of staff that have been brought into the admissions team. Members of my team, so the international recruitment team, are also being seconded into the admissions team to help with processing offers and doing pre-CAS interviews. For some of you that maybe I've had a pre-CAS interview or will be, there are people like Dina Patel, Fahada Islam, Manjit Sahota. Those are members of the international in the recruitment of the global opportunities team that are also helping out. We're pulling in resources from across the university to help process this application. So all I can say is for now, I think the important thing to tell you, whichever stage you're at, is that the offer letter will come out. What you need to be doing now, knowing that you're worried that the time frame is becoming smaller and smaller, is what can you do yourself as the applicant to ensure that you get here for the start date of your program. Now, majority of our programs will start on the 19th of September. For some of you, they may be earlier, so please check the start date on your offer letter. So what you can do, there are a couple of things. Paying your deposit via Form A, for example, as majority of you will know, is taking 4 to 6 weeks or even longer. So start thinking, is there a way where you can make the payment, your deposit payment, that will take a shorter time? So for example, have you researched which banks can process this for you within 2 to 3 weeks? Have you researched any alternative method where you can use Form A or maybe a bank transfer? Yes, it may not be favorable, as I know, speaking to other applicants. However, these are things that you need to consider, given where you are. Yes, there are delays, but you can also help yourself along the line. So the deposit is one of them. The second thing around the deposit is, before you can complete your enrollment as a student, you have to pay 50% of your remaining tuition fee. So if you are going to use Form A, don't just pay a minimum £3,000. Try and figure out what your 50% will be by your enrollment and pay both together. Because what that does, it removes a lot of stress for you further down the line. Because if you're not, for example, if you pay your deposit, you get your cash, you apply for your visa, you travel to the UK. Now, by your enrollment date, you have to have paid your 50% to complete your enrollment, or within 2 weeks of your course start date. If you're still waiting for Form A at this time, let's say middle of October, November, then you cannot complete your enrollment. So again, you now be stressed because the university will say, well, if you're not enrolled, we're going to withdraw you from the program. So these are little things that you can start thinking about that you can do within your own control, and let me and my team worry about how we get you your offer letter, or your pre-CAS interview, or your CAS. So that's the first thing. The second thing is around your tuberculosis. Making sure that you've already. Now, for most of the applicants I'm speaking with, thing I would say is, in terms of your tuberculosis certificate, if you've not got this already or at least got a date, then please go and do your tuberculosis certificate right now. If you are looking to study in the UK for any reason this September, whichever university you go to, for a visa application, you need your TB. So even if you were not able to come to Wolverhampton, you still need to have a tuberculosis certificate. Now, one of the positives of having of the TB is that it doesn't have to be specific to the university you're going to. So you can have a tuberculosis certificate for University A, and we will accept that at Wolverhampton. Okay, so make sure you've got that sorted. Now, your tuberculosis, and I'm sure the team has already explained to you, has to be valid at least by the time of your course start date. I mean, it's usually when you make a visa application, but try and make sure it's valid by your course start date. So if you do it now, it will take you all the way to December, which is fine. The third thing is about your finances. You need to ensure that majority of you, once you get your conditional offer letter or unconditional, you've done your precast, and then the next thing for you before you can apply for your CAS itself is you need to have paid your deposit, which we've talked about. You need to have done your TB, we've talked about, but you also need to show the funds in your account. Now, if your funds that you need to show are not ready or they're not matured for one reason or the other, then actually you chasing your offer letter at this stage, it's pointless. So what you need to start doing now is making sure your proof of funds, your maintenance amount, and your remaining tuition fee, whatever you've got left after you've made any payment, is ready. Now, as a rule of thumb, I would advise you that make sure it's ready by the middle of next month, at the very latest end of next month. So if you've still not got your finances sorted right now, or you've not started to put them in place to be counted in 28 days, then there's no point really in choosing your offer letter right now. Yes, you may want to have your offer letter before you can do those things. But if you do things in sequential, then you're not going to meet up. There are delays with the university. We're going to resolve that. There are delays with visa applications with the UK Home Office. There's nothing we can do about that. There's nothing you can do about that. However, what you can control is how to pay your deposit, your tuberculosis certificate, and also your evidence of funds. Those three things, try to have them in place latest by the middle of next month, so that once you get your offer letter, once you've paid your deposit, you can get your cash, you can apply for your visa straight away. For majority of you, your course start date will be the 19th of September. Now, I was working out how many weeks is that between now and then. Just give me a second. And there is, if you were to get your CAS by the end of July, for example, and if you go for your biometrics by the end of July or the 1st week of August, you still have about 6 to 7 weeks to get your visa, which is plenty of time. Currently, visa application are taking between 4 to 6 weeks, some a bit longer. But if so you need to try and think, okay, what is the timeline for me? You need to have got your CAS latest middle of next month, and applying for your visa and doing your biometrics latest 1st week of August. But the only way you can get your CAS is if you have your TB in place, your proof of funds in place, and you paid your deposit. So yes, I'm sure I'll take some questions shortly, but please do, try and look at those three things I've mentioned so that you can make it easier for yourself. Over to you.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Yusuf. Thank you for all the points that he has covered. And I'm very, very sure that, we've been, through all of this, paying of deposits, we've been, hammering this since March, even if not, that a couple of you have already started, that process already. And then also everything that he has talked about is very, very important. So if you don't have all of these things in place, please, it's time for you to have them in place. Your proof of fund, your deposit payment, everything that he has talked about, you need to have them in place. And also your TB test, some of you have already booked already. So a couple of you I know that are here have already booked already. So, and please have all of these three things in place so that by the time your CAS comes or your unconditional comes, you can run ahead, go ahead with things. Do you have any question? Does anybody have any question? Okay, Mr. Donatus.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. I listened very carefully to the presentation, and I'm a little bit worried about when the speaker was saying from Wolverhampton was saying about we have powers within the initial deposit. I think that may not be correct, because the issue of Form A right now, as regards Central Bank of Nigeria system, is terrible. You can't control that except you have what others call so-called godfatherism in the banking sector. Otherwise, you can't control that. In fact, the thing is very annoying right now that you can make requests, and requests can spend up to 2 months. So I don't even know. Sometimes they will always tell you that it's on queue, it's on queue. It's on queue doesn't really tell the truth, because if a request is on queue, it means that at least within 1 month it should be treated. So this forex we're expecting, we have that forex. So I know and I agree that there are volumes of these applications, but you see, the school should also bear with us. I don't know how they can also come in, and the Care Global with its experience come in to also mitigate this hardship in making requests through the trust system with Form A, and making sure that that request is attended to, because you have the fund in your account, you have the fund in your account, you will make the request, and it will be recommended for approval, and approval will be granted, and it will be waiting supervisor disbursement, waiting disbursement for 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, and the school will not understand this. So I don't know how we can go around this area, and so we can have a history exercise. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Donatus. Before Mr. Yusuf says something, there is one thing that you guys need to know. There are different available channels that you can use. If you have somebody in the UK, you can use the person to make your payment. A lot of my clients do that. A lot of students do that. So within 2 days, the money will hit even the school account. So you don't have to wait at all. For every one of you that already have conditional offer, not unconditional, if you already have offer, you can go ahead straight and pay your tuition deposit. Use somebody in the UK, you already have your student ID, and then you make your payment, your deposit payment. And even, I don't know, I will also ask, in addition to what he has said, Mr. Yusuf, people that don't have offer yet, because some of them that are here, him that just talked now, he doesn't have his offer yet. So people that don't have offer yet, but they already have student ID, can they go ahead and make payment as well? Because they're asking me that. All right.
Okay. So, Doctor, thank you for the question. I think it's a valid point that you've made, and I think just to unpack that, when I mentioned about there are things within your control, it's not about the Form A, it's about paying your deposit. Okay, there are different ways to make your deposit. There are bank transfers. The Form A is not the only way. However, the Form A is more than likely the most favorable way for you to pay the deposit, but it's not the only way you can make payments to the university. So, as also just been mentioning, there are ways where you can do by bank transfer. If you've got, I know in some instances, students may be able to use Western Union. Now, that may not be possible if you're using your Nigerian card. People who have relatives or friends outside of Nigeria are also able to make payments. The issue with making a payment before you've passed your pre-CAS interview is, yes, you may want to go ahead and and proactively make payments for your tuition, for your deposit or anything. We as a university, we don't advise that, for the main reason is that if, for example, you've not got your offer and you don't meet the minimum entry requirements and you've already paid your deposit or any other payments, then you need to get a refund. If, let's say, you don't pass your pre-CAS interview, then you need to also apply for a refund. So there are obviously, that's the main reason why we ask you not to pay your deposit or any funds to us until you get to that stage. However, if you want to take that decision because you're confident that you've met the entry requirements, you're confident that you're going to pass the pre-CAS interview, then you can go ahead, and that that's your own decision to do. But we only advise that you don't do that until you've passed your pre-CAS interview. So again, that's a decision that you need to make yourself in terms of giving yourself the best possible chance as to when it may be. Okay, I hope that answers your question, Mr. Donatus.
Okay, he's asking if you're fine with the answer, Mr. Donato.
Yeah. I'm okay with that. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Yeah, I think just to add to that, I think one of the other things you mentioned is how the university can come in and help with the Form A process. Unfortunately, you know, the Form A is a financial instrument by the Republic of Nigeria. You know, the university cannot get involved, as we cannot also get involved with the visa application in the UK. Yes, we know we can look at things, but however, what we are doing to make sure as a university is looking at, okay, paying your deposit, paying, you know, your 50% by enrollment, and the other 50%, you know, in 3 installments up to 4 to 6 months. So those are things that we put in place because we understand not just students from Nigeria, but from across the world in different parts, you know, may have, issues in paying their deposit or paying their tuition fee on time. So these are things that we've put in place already. But as you can imagine, you know, we cannot get involved with governmental, with the country, you know, within their processes.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Yusuf. Ruth Obong, you can unmute yourself and speak, please.
Morning, everyone. Hope you can hear me.
Yes, we can.
Hello. Yes, we can. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Yusuf, for your time and for the explanation. Please, I would like to ask if you have an online program for nursing top-up.
No,
Thank you. That's my question.
No, we don't.
Okay.
Okay.
That is sorted then.
Thank you.
Thank you for that question. Is it Ms. Tosin Amolebe? You can unmute yourself, please, and ask the question. Tosin, are you there? Okay, so if she's not ready, okay, you can go ahead. Okay, if she's not ready, is there any other person that still have questions to ask? Because I think
yes, I have a question.
Okay, please go ahead.
Okay, can you hear me now? Can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, you can go ahead, please.
Okay, thank you for the presentation. Thank you for the speaker. He has already answered the question I wanted to ask, but I still have some question. Is that you said we should go ahead, we have limited time. Now, like someone like me that don't even have the application, how will I put it? The application forms or everything that already, I don't even have it for now. Is it possible for me to make payments? Is it done that way? And you said we have limited time between June, now we are in June till September. So how is that one going to work? That's just my question. How is that one going to work?
Sorry,
because I don't even have the...
Who is the person talking now? Your application has not been submitted?
No, not the application, the offer. I've not even received any offer. So how do we make payment? Is it possible to make payment or start any arrangement or go ahead with the TB? Okay,
that was the exact question I asked Mr. Yusuf. So he might want to answer that, whether people that don't have offer yet, whether they can go ahead and pay using their student ID.
So, Ms. Tosin, I think if your application has been submitted, there is a reference number that's generated. I think it will begin with 2022, which is 2022. After those 4 digits, the rest of the digits will be your reference number. So if your application has been submitted, then the team will have your ID number. And I think, as I've said, this will be down to you if you wish to make that payment because of the time frame. However, you may have submitted your application. If you don't meet the requirements, then we cannot make you an offer, even because you've made a payment, or if you don't pass the precast interview. So there are different things that you need to be really, you need to be sure of. If you feel that you can obviously make the pay, you're gonna get an unconditional offer letter, and if you know that you're going to pass the precast interview, then it is your decision if you wish to make that payment. As a university, what we advise is once you pass your precast interview, you can make that payment. Okay.
So that means once we are we pass the TB, we can go ahead with the payments. Is that what you're saying?
Okay.
Once you have passed the pre-CAS interview is when we advise students, applicants, to make their deposit payment.
Okay,
All
now
right,
let,
thank you.
okay,
Okay,
now,
I would like to ask a question, please.
can you hold on? Can you hold on? Let me add to that for Chosin. Now, in order not to confuse it, because we have already passed this stage where he said, because of the constraint here in Nigeria with payment, TB test, and so many other things, you can go ahead and pay. If you know that you're gonna pass through all of these stages successfully, like, okay, you having your own conditional offer and then the pre-CAS interview. And then let me let you know that if you already have your documents in place, you know, you have your transcript, you know, you have, or you're going to be able to get it before you resume September, then you can actually go ahead and pay. If you know you have your reference letters in place, you have your WAEC, with the CCs, at least in English language, or you have IELTS as a substitute. If you have all of these things in place, and then you have already sent us a personal statement which has been reviewed and submitted, then you have nothing to worry about. So you can go ahead and do your payment. And as well, if eventually you do not get, what they call it, the if eventually you do not get the unconditional offer or whatever the process done, if you do not go through all of the process, once you don't have a visa or you are refused visa, the school will definitely refund you your money. So for people that are gonna be thinking, oh, if I pay and I don't get through the process, where is my money? Is my money going to be missing? Your money cannot be missing. But once you have a visa and then you have to travel to school, you have to use that visa and travel. So that is when your money will not be refunded, please. So
So
I don't know if
I'm just going to add to that
One more
quickly.
question, thank you. Please, one more question. You
No,
know, the university is on strike.
Can you hold on? Can you hold on? Let him add to that question, please.
It's okay. She can ask the question.
Okay.
All right. Do you know the university now, they're on strike? You know, I keep communicating with you, keep asking my transcripts. So most time I communicate with my school to get the transcript is not easy. And now we don't know when the schools will resume. We don't know when they will resume because I don't have my transcript with me. And I've tried all means to get it from the school. The school is locked. So there's no how you can get your transcript for now. So can we still go ahead without transcript now?
So what we ask for as a university, you need to have your official certificate or transcript. If on your certificate it is clear which university you studied at, what program you did, and what your degree classification is, then potentially you may not need to have your transcript, as long as you've got an official certificate that is clear. If it's not, then we may also ask for a transcript. Okay. Just going back to the question around the refund. Yes, if you make a payment to the university, let's say for September, and you were not able to meet up with the time, potentially what you may do, you can defer your offer to January intake or even to May intake. That money will stay in your student's record to be used for another time. If you wish to get a refund, then it will be refunded back to the account it came from. So for example, if you make a payment from your own account, then the money will be refunded back to your own account. If you made it from your parents' account, then it will go back to your parents' account. So it's very crucial, obviously, that when you are making a payment, you try and make sure that, obviously, you know, you understand that if you needed a refund, then it needs to go back to the original bank account it came from. However, the money you've paid can also be used if you wish to defer. The only time you will not get your refund back is if you get a visa refusal on fraudulent claims. So for